Hello everyone, this is Joe, and in this video we are going to talk about Backender's endpoint editor. So in this page, this is the most powerful, most essential page of all pages inside the Backender, since this is where you will build your functionality, change your functionality, test your functionality, and deploy your functionality. So in this video, we are only going to talk about the tools inside the endpoint editor page. So we are not going to test or deploy endpoints. We only have to walk you through all the tools inside this page. So let's start. We can see in the top side the post, which is the request method, and then the request URL of this endpoint. On the right side, we can see the copy URL button. We have the save button that lets you save the changes of your endpoint, and then the run button that lets you open the run side panel. In the first tab, we can see the input. It's in here. We can see the request variables, the payload of the run, and then the result of the run, which is the response of this application, rather endpoint. So now we can also see here the diagram in the middle, so you can drag the diagram in here, and the diagram is composed of cards, and each card represents a functionality. So in this diagram, we can zoom in and zoom out, we can drag things out, and then in the right side we can see the mini map, and the left side we can see the plus, which is zoom, minus, which is zoom out, and then we can full screen and then lock the screen. So let's try to add a stock. So when you have a card in here, you can add stock. So when adding stock, it will open a side panel for choose stock. You can choose and built-in function stocks, and also you can choose the integrations, and you can choose the unassigned stuff. So those are the choices. So for this example, let's just create a stack for create string. So this creates a string. So string is Backender is awesome. So submit. So now we have a stock in here, a new card, which is the create string Backender is awesome. So as you can see, if you click this start card, it will open a different tab, which is the source tab. I mean, different side panel, which is the source side panel. And in this source side panel, it has 3 tabs. The first tab, which is the request. In here, you can see and add request variables. And then the second tab is the sample response. You can edit the sample response of this endpoint. The description of this endpoint, you can also edit it. And you can also enable authentication in the request tab as well. So if you click a stock in here, for example this one, it is different. It will open the stock side panel. The stock side panel lets you see the variable ID, as you can see in here. You can also unassign the stock. This is unassigned functionality will remove this stock from the diagram. So for example, if we click this one, it's not in the diagram, but you can add it back to the diagram by clicking add stock, and then go to unassigned, and then add this stock back into the diagram. So here in this stock side panel, we can see 2 tabs. The first tab is edit. You can see you can edit the functionality of this current card, and we can switch to advanced form. Also in the second tab, we have the last result. So if you run this endpoint, you can see the last result in here of this particular card or particular variable. So now let's click add button. So now if you add a things after this particular card, you can have 2 options. You can add another stock. So let's do that, and then let's try to add a new function, which is create under string. So for example, Backender is freight, something like that. So submit. So we now have 2 stocks. It will automatically be added in the diagram. So apart from that, we can also add a condition. If you click that one, it will add a condition. This creates an if black. So you can add more condition if you want. So yeah, here you can add as much as condition as you need. So don't worry, these cards um, will not be override each other, since it is programmed to flow like a river or like a tree with branches. Also, you can add a loop. So for example, we can add a loop inside here. Add loop. So as you can see, loop is added in here. So we can also copy the variable ID. So this is crucial. Copy variable ID. So this is what the diagram looks like if the functionality of your endpoint is going to be complex or complicated than a simple one. So you can actually create a functionality in here, a logic in here, from the simplest form to the most complex thing that you can ever think of. So you can also, you know, add things here whenever, whatever you want. You can add actually some things in the if block. You can add stock inside the if block. So for example, that one, as you can see in here, it's good. Um it's it has been it becomes more complex. As you can see, there's a lot of branches already. So you can make it as complex as you need to, or as simple as you need to. So it's really up to you. But don't worry, this will be flowing beautifully like a river or like a tree, which is, it starts from the very top and ends at the last part. So this is the endpoint editor. So I hope you learned something about this. If you want to know more about the endpoint editor, just go to our guide at guide.backender.io. So thank you and bye bye.